Hey, it's Coach Jamila, and today we're talking about an issue that may be leaving you frustrated, and that is you feel like you're consistently running in place and just making the same mistakes over and over. For example, ladies, do you feel like every time you get ahead financially, something happens to just set you back and take you back to where you started? Or do you feel like you're really great at losing weight, but once you get it off, you find that within a few months you end up gaining it all back and then some? Or do you find that you keep attracting the same wrong guy over and over? It's like the same relationship, just different hair and eyes. If this is true of you, I'm going to share with you 3 reasons why you're just running in place and keep making the same mistakes over and over, and then how to address those 3 reasons, how to fix it, okay? And because I'm going to be being pretty thorough, I do have some notes that I'm going to be referring to, okay? So the first reason why you keep running in place is because of your inner limiting beliefs. Yes, believe it or not, what our subconscious mind, whatever it believes, it actually drives all of our decisions and choices and the things that we do that attract, people and things into our life. Okay. So, with that, if you have inner limiting beliefs, of course, they're all negative, then it affects your level of deservingness. And so you end up actually literally creating in your life the life that you feel you deserve. And so if you say to yourselves things like, I'm not enough, or nobody loves me, or I'm a scatterbrain, kind of hard to get ahead financially when you really don't feel that good about yourself, right? Kind of hard to lose weight and keep it off when you think you're not enough. It's like, well, what difference does it make? I'm still unlovable. Or really hard to attract a great guy and get into a new relationship when you really don't recognize your own value and you're just happy that somebody is talking to you, right? So how do you fix an inner limiting belief? How do you change that? Well, you want to take that belief. We'll take I am not enough, for example, and you want to flip it around, state the exact opposite as a positive affirmation. And the way you do positive affirmations are positive present tense. And then read them out loud to yourself in the morning and in the evening. First thing when you get up and before bed, okay? And so, for example, with I am enough, to flip it around, I am not enough, I am not enough. This is easy. To flip it around to a positive affirmation, you would say, I am enough, okay? And so that's how you address and start to fix those inner limiting beliefs. Is you have to identify them, flip them around, and then start installing a new belief. Now, a belief is simply something that you've repeated to yourself over time, and so you start to believe it. It doesn't mean it's true. In fact, it's not true, because the fact that you're not enough isn't true. It's just what you believe, because it's what you've been telling yourself for all these years. So now you're going to start telling yourself something different, okay? Something good, something better, so that you can start believing that about yourself, okay? Now, the second reason why you're running in place and consistently making the same mistakes is because you either have low self-worth, low self-esteem, or both, okay? And because of these negative beliefs that you've been telling yourself since you were a child, which no doubt were probably formed because of some trauma, abuse, or neglect, you haven't healed. You haven't taken the time to heal your self-esteem and self-worth. So how do you do that? How do you learn how to love yourself? Well, I'm going to give you a couple of exercises to do this, okay? Because this is a big one. This is low self-worth and low self-esteem, as far as I'm concerned, is the number one reason why women make decisions out of fear and suffer. They suffer in relationships, in situations, because they just don't have that inside of them to move out of whatever this scenario is, okay? So this is a very powerful exercise. So one of the places where you can start, healing your self-esteem and self-worth is every morning when you get up, I want you to write down 3 things that you're grateful for every day. Because as you begin to focus on what those things that you're grateful for, then you will begin to see just how blessed you are, just how amazing you are, how many relationships and people you have in your life that are actually good. And then you can start to see how valuable you are and how much you mean to others, so that you perhaps can begin to see yourself the way that others see you and begin to feel that sense of love about yourself and worthiness and deservingness. Okay, so I want you to start there. with your gratitude. Now, the second exercise I want you to do is to take out a sheet of paper, and I want you to write down 3 columns. And I want you in the first column to write down what you've accomplished in the last 5 years. In the second column, everything you've accomplished in the last year. And in that third column, everything you've accomplished in the last 6 months. Now, the reason for this is because when you stop and you really start to think about what you've done, what you've accomplished despite all of the challenges that you've been through, then you begin to see, man, wow, I can't believe I did that. Now, when you go through your list and you're looking at your accomplishments, do not criticize yourself. Because see, when you have low self-esteem, low self-worth, what you'll do is when someone gives you a compliment, you don't accept it. You go, oh, well, or someone will say, you did a great job on that. Yeah, but you know what? I could have done better, this, that. You criticize yourself. Don't do that, okay? I want you to write down your accomplishments. I want you to read through them, and I want you to get excited and feel proud and amazed at what you've done despite the fact that you really are suffering internally with feeling good in your own skin. And then, of course, despite any external circumstances, that may have happened to you, okay? So those are the 2 exercises to start working on healing that self-worth and that self-esteem, self-love. Now, my third reason why you may be running in place and continuing to make mistakes does not apply to everyone, okay? It does not apply to everyone. In fact, if this does apply to you, then the first 2 steps are kind of irrelevant because this is just such a big one, okay? The third reason why you may not be getting to where you want to get is because you have a victim mentality. And so what do I mean by that? It means that you thrive and live in the negative. You stay in woe is me mode. You're never wrong. You're always wronged. Stuff is always happening to you. Somebody's always doing something to you. Or you're obsessed with labeling everything about you. Oh, I have this, or oh, I'm this, or oh, I'm that. You're always looking for a reason as to why you are the way you are, instead of focusing your energy and attention on changing the way you are and becoming better and pulling yourself out of wherever you are, okay? And this doesn't mean that you may have a legitimate issue, but your attitude and the way you're going about it, and especially in how you're using it in relation to others, it's not right, okay? And if you have this, then, you're going to continue to run in place. You're going to continue to struggle. And so how do you stop a victim mentality? Is you basically need to grow up. Okay, that's the cold, harsh answer. You need to grow up, okay? And you have to really, really get honest with yourself about the fact that there's fear associated with letting go of a victim mentality. Because the fear is you'll actually have to give up this story or this lie that you've been telling yourself all these years of your adult life, that have allowed you to get over on people, take advantage of people, to constantly be the recipient instead of a giver, okay? And so to accept and face the fact that story may not be true is a doozy. Because now what do? Right? Now how do you see yourself? Now how do I define myself without my label, okay? So that's going to be a little bit of a struggle, but you can do it. But that's the first step, is you have to acknowledge the fact that you are not a victim. You are choosing to stay in this place. There are billions of people on the planet that have been through all types of trauma, and they are not just sitting in it and letting others wait on them hand and foot and making excuses and all these things. They are still trying to be a positive and productive member of society despite their limitations. And that's the place that you need to get to, okay? Simply because you have an issue or a limitation does not preclude you from being able to be happy and have whatever it is that you want in life, okay? So got to shift that mindset. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, follow, comment, etc. And I want to thank you for watching. And if you are, someone that is wanting to shift your mindset, I only work with women, but if you are looking for that support to pull yourself out of this place of kind of, you want to learn how to love yourself more, increase your self-worth, your self-esteem, and get more confidence so you can start getting what you want out of life, but you're not exactly sure how to do that, then I want to invite you to book a free 30-minute discovery and action call with me so we can really discover, what's holding you back, what's the problem, and then talk about what action, needs to take place. And I may invite you to work with me in one of my coaching programs, but even if I don't, you will get a tremendous amount of value out of the call. All right. So all the details for everything will be in the description below this video. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you here.